If you have ever considered a group coaching program for your business, this episode is going to light a fire within you. I am so excited today to bring you my friend Maggie Giele, and she is an award-winning business and marketing strategist who helps coaches, consultants, and service providers get more premium clients and then scale with a leveraged hybrid one-to-many offer on Evergreen. She went from being booked out with a team of 7, but burning out, to quickly hitting record months like 124K and having a multi six-figure business with just one part-time team member. Maggie believes in people over profit, simplicity over complexity, and a human-first approach to business. I am so excited to share this conversation with you guys because this is so raw and unscripted, and I left this episode feeling so inspired to continue to build out a group, coaching program. I had one in the past, and I am revamping a lot of things, and this conversation with Maggie is truly enlightening, inspiring, and you're going to leave wanting to know all the things that she has in her pocket because she's so incredibly smart. So let's go ahead and get started with my dear friend, Maggie Giele. You're going to love it. Welcome back to the Messy Success Podcast. I'm your host, Elizabeth Henson, and I help high-performing artists and creative leaders grow and scale communities so that marketing is easy. This podcast combines business tips and real-life experiences in being the creative entrepreneur that we all are. So you're in the right place if you want to leave feeling a little bit more confident and normalize these day-to-day struggles that we all experience as business owners. And you can do this while mastering your marketing so that business is light and easy. I'm so glad you're joining me here where we can get a little bit messy, a little bit creative, and it's okay to be super ambitious. Let's get started. Hey, Maggie, I am so excited to have you here today. And my dear friend Ilya, who was on the podcast recently, just raved about you and felt like we needed to be connected. And then once I saw your website, I was like, oh, I'm definitely bringing her on the podcast. So welcome. I already told everyone a little bit about you, but I want you to introduce yourself to make sure I got it right and all the things.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Elizabeth, for having me. I'm super excited to be here. My name is Maggie. I am a business and marketing strategist, mentor, and coach. And I really work with coaches, consultants, and service-based entrepreneurs who are feeling overworked and under-earning. And I help them get more clients, make more money, simplify the crap out of what they do, and shift things to a group coaching program so they can actually scale while still getting their clients amazing results. And on more of a personal note, I am based in Amsterdam. I grew up in Singapore and in the US. And my dog's name is Frodo, so that shows you what I feel about fantasy.
I love it. Oh my God, my dog Luna is in the background too, and she's like ready for a walk. So don't be surprised if we get some kind of interruption. Okay, so you have like this kind of little niche in helping people build group coaching programs. I love it. That's your favorite way to help people, you would say, is to help them turn whatever it is that they're doing into like some kind of a profitable group coaching program?
I think, well, like yes and no. So I love that. What I love about that space really is taking someone and their skill set and experience and giving them a lot more space in their calendar, in their schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I was that booked out, burning out coach, consultant, strategist, whatever. I love working with clients one to one. I still work with clients one to one. But at a certain point, if you're an ambitious person and you want to help more people and you want to grow your business, the one to one model does generally not get you there.
Yeah.
Like you can't, because you hit a ceiling. You hit a ceiling on how much money you can make unless you keep raising your prices, which isn't always feasible. And it's not always the right move. And there's also a limit on that. Or you take on more clients, which means more time on your calendar. But I don't know,
Mhm.
like about you, Elizabeth, but I'm recording this right now from Croatia, where I'm able to go and travel to because my calendar is no longer booked out with coaches and oh sorry with coaching. And I tried to scale out of that by myself a few years ago via launches, and you add some kind of one to many offer. That's what we do. And I was trying to launch it, and it was just such an absolute nightmare. I needed a giant team. I needed like all these moving parts, and I realized like there has to be a simpler way to help more people achieve what I can help them achieve without literally running myself into the ground.
Yeah.
And that's really where a scalable offer, which could be a group coaching program, a scalable offer that still delivers really good results comes in.
Yeah. Because if you stick with one to one, you're always trading your time for money, and there's always going to be a plateau in how much you can take. And I'm in an interesting position right now where I'm like, I feel like I've mastered my work life balance.
Mm.
But then I'm also asking myself the question, how can I keep the work life balance that I have and make more, do more, right? And what I'm hearing is a good opportunity for that is group coaching. What about, well, VIP days would still be one on one unless you did group VIP days. I've been tossing around a lot of different ideas. So, do you help them come up with the signature program and launch it? Or is it mostly just like helping them design the program and then they're on their own to launch it?
No, it's actually probably more on the marketing and sales side of things
Mm,
because it's it's not actually about the group coaching program. It's actually about their business model. Like,
yeah.
how do you bring in leads who are able and willing to pay you? How do you build your authority so they understand why they need you? And how do you convert them into paying clients? And that's the thing with like, let's say the VIP day model or like every model has downsides as well. With the VIP
Mm-hmm.
day model, you are constantly trying to sell
Mm-hmm.
because you get in a lead, they book a call with you, they buy, you deliver, and then you're like, okay, crap, now what? You have to go
Yeah.
find a new lead. Whereas when it's a more of a one-to-many model, when it's a bit more of an evergreen model, you get to kind of run this a whole flywheel on your own and speed it up by yourself versus constantly trying to figure out where's the next sale coming from so I can pay my bills this month.
Yeah. So, what is your go-to marketing strategy for a group program? Is it more evergreen versus a live launch? Do you kind of like depend on the client and what they like to do? What's your go-to?
It really depends on the client, but generally, I like to help them do like their first launch, get the first 5 to 10 people in,
Mm,
get all their systems set up, get all, get the positioning right, get the messaging right, figure all of that stuff out, build in the systems and automations to also run the program the best way possible, and then start shifting to an evergreen model. And the best part about that is you still get to do launches. If you launches are your thing, if you like to do that, you still get to do launches as your marketing sales model. But if your program's set up on evergreen, like you know how it is. A client comes to you and they say, "I'd love to like work with you." And if you have like a mastermind or group coaching program that's cohort only, you have to say,
mm,
"Oh, well, you have to wait 3 months. You want
yeah.
to pay me a deposit?" No, because they want help now.
Yeah. So you help people build it so the doors are always open almost.
Yes, yes. So
Oh.
that you get to take time off because once you have this flywheel working, once you know, here's the marketing that works for me, here's the
Yeah.
sales process that work for me, here are the mechanisms we have in place that do the heavy lifting for you on the
Yeah.
marketing and sales front, you get to take more time off. You get to
Yeah.
like work harder or work less hard when you feel like it because the system's in place.
Yeah, so you could host your calls. Like I used to do group calls like just every Monday at 4 o'clock. And that
Yep.
was it. Like once a week calls. And then you're telling me, like my eyes are wide, that there's like a marketing system that would like keep butts in the seats.
Yep.
Yeah. Is it do you focus on sales calls, email funnels? What tell me your favorites.
It's so good question.
Again, I guess it probably depends on the offer because higher ticket offers probably do need sales calls.
they're all higher ticket offers. Like
Yeah.
it's basically 3K and above.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Again, if you're aiming 10, 20, 30K months, then it's much faster to get there with a higher ticket offer, especially if you're coming from it as a coach, consultant, service provider, someone who works already at high level.
Mm-hmm.
It's not too difficult for us to put together a one-to-many offer for you that is high ticket and still feels like it's within integrity for you and for your clients.
Yeah.
So really what I look at is how do you build relationships through your marketing and your content and everything, right? So
Mm-hmm.
those things is how are you getting new people into your audience, into your universe?
Mm-hmm.
Because we have to constantly be doing that because this is what happens when you don't do this. I'm sure maybe you experience this when you like sell an offer a few times. The first time it goes really well, the second time it goes less well, and the third time is like crickets, and you're like, what the hell's happening? So that's often because you're trying to sell faster than you're building the audience.
Yes.
And a lot of people skip that because it's scary because it requires getting in front of new people. So
Yeah.
that's the first stage of like, or that first part. How are you getting new people into your universe regularly?
Yeah.
And there's a few ways to do that. And again, those like some I'm quite an introvert, but so I love talking like on podcasts, but telling me to go like to networking events twice a week in person with people wouldn't be my favorite.
Yeah.
Same thing for the sales side of things. I'm quite comfortable with sales calls, but it's ultimately having a sales conversation. It's
Mm-hmm.
having some kind of event that's going to get people off of your social media and taking some kind of action with you.
Yeah.
It could be a webinar, it could be a VSL, which is like a video sales, like a mini webinar basically, a challenge, something, and then into either a DM conversation or a sales call. Again, up to you how you want to do that. But the
Yeah.
cycle is the same. The cycle is the same, and this is honestly, if you're going for premium clients and you want to sell VIP days or one-to-one services or whatever, or your group coaching program, this flywheel model that I teach works for both. So a lot of people actually work with me to first get more premium clients in the door, and they use that to catapult their first group coaching program.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So my wheels are turning. So I have a course that is essentially like my 5-step methodology on building a community so that your marketing is easy. Okay. This is just a
Mm-hmm.
497 course. It's just a course. But my next step is I want to continue to enhance that experience and either offer some type of coaching container, you know, some type of they get more time with me to make sure that they're accountable, because people don't just need more courses, they need to like take the action. And when I'm seeing that people are buying the course and they're not going through the course, I'm like, that's on me. Like I got to give them more support to make sure, that they have what they need. Have you seen people almost do the reverse and take a lower ticket offer, like a 497 offer that's just a course, and then build it up into a group coaching program?
Yeah, I've worked with clients on that. So when you're saying like you have this course, I'm like, well, that's something we could absolutely turn into a higher ticket coaching program. Because there's
Yeah.
like different ways you can do that. It doesn't just have to be. It's not just like we have a course and we're gonna slap on a live coaching call a week or a month or whatever, and ta-da, pay me 10 grand. That's
Right.
not how this experience
Right. It's
works.
not
Like
that
that's
easy. Darn.
it's not that easy. And
Yeah.
I don't know how like ethical that would be either. I don't know, like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because ultimately coaching programs or group programs, leveraged offers, masterminds, whatever you want to call them, they work because they help create a space that's easy for your clients to get results.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the curriculum is part of that. The community is part of that. The coaching calls are part of that. But it's also about really mapping out this customer journey
Yeah.
of what do people actually need. And like the thing is though, you can't help everyone. Some people
Mm-hmm.
will just like not like people have literally paid me like 9 grand and not turn up for a call
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
and not opened like because I could see like if you've done anything. I'm like, okay, well,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
is that on me? I don't think so.
No. 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 No.
So
Absolutely
there's
not.
a lot we can do as the host, and there's a lot that we work through on like creating great client experience, like accountability. How do you where do you deliver more? Where do you make sure you have boundaries? And how do you really make sure that your clients have the best chance possible of achieving the program promise from the program. But I think there's also, you're all adults.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, there's definitely a line and like where's the mirror in areas that I can improve that I can make the program better, but also knowing like at the end of the
yep,
day, like it is on them. And even if a course is just a course, they bought it, they knew it was just a course, they got to go through it, you know? But I think there's always areas that we can say, okay, how can I keep the price the same and 10x the value, or kind of make it this whole separate mastermind VIP like level up in the ascension model kind of experience. That's so interesting. And I'm helping a friend coach a group program that's been very successful. We're on our third or fourth cohort and he's been live launching, but now I'm like, my wheels are turning. Maybe we should look into something like this that's more evergreen. How do you handle the content if it's rolling and you have someone that could be brand new joining your weekly call and they're in the call with somebody who's been working with you for 6 months? Like, how do you handle that onboarding experience to, keep everything relevant?
yeah. So, firstly, I've got a success path inside the curriculum. So there's a process people follow, and I lay this out. Like, so already on the sales call, if someone's obviously interested, I'll be sharing, here's the path I foresee for you. So I actually
Mm,
don't call my sales calls. I mean, they are, but I call them game plan calls because what I actually do on the call is I basically audit someone's business, kind of those three phases that we talked about just now, like, how are you generating leads? How are you marketing yourself? How are you converting sales? Where are the bottlenecks? And I'm going to share with you, oh, hey, Elizabeth, from what you told me, um, even if you don't work with me, even if you choose to do this on your own or with someone else, here's the things I recommend you focus on in the next 6 to 12 months if you're trying to get to your goal of, let's say, $30,000 a month with a leveraged model.
yeah.
So when at that point when someone says, Maggie, I want to work with you and I want your help implementing it, we've already mapped out a very simple pathway for them. So they enter the program already knowing, just on a kind of very high level, here's what I should be focusing on. That
Mm,
helps. Then I also direct them, like when I onboard them, I say, hey, start with this material, or hey, I have this like micro launch method that's like a quick 10-day flywheel on how to quickly market and sell an offer. Like, start there. I think your offer of your course could be perfect for that, or whatever. Um, so I really like to give direction to
mm-hmm,
people. So it's not
mm-hmm,
just I dump you in the program and like go watch videos and try and come on a call. The other thing I like to do is I do a one-to-one strategy session when they start.
mm.
I call that the battle plan. I basically take what I already got from their sales call and we map out more specifically, here's the areas of focus for you over the next 6 to 10 weeks.
Yeah, so good. Now, I know what a success path is, but we might have some listeners that are like, what's a success path? So, how would
Mhm.
you describe what that is?
It's just basically how I think about it is, instead of, so I'm like a natural over deliverer and I want to teach everyone everything that I know, which is really dangerous when you're trying to like help people get results because they can get really overwhelmed with information.
Hmm.
So I look at it as, client is currently at like making, let's say, 7K a month as a copywriter or coach, consultant, service provider. They want to get a 20K a month, but without working more hours, they don't want to take on more one-to-one clients. For anyone in this situation wanting to go from this situation to that situation, what are the steps in general they need to go through to have the biggest chance of success to get to their end goal?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's different about, working one-to-one with clients as a coach or strategist, because then you can customize this. And when you start wanting to move to a more one-to-many model or a leverage model, you have to start finding the patterns. And that can be really tricky when you're like, yes, but it depends. Like, yes, I know it depends, but what's the pattern? What's the general path that will give them the highest chances of success?
Yeah, or like milestones. Like what milestone can they be reaching for and what actions do they need to
Yeah,
take to hit the next one? Yeah. And then
exactly. So here's,
some are like stair steps, but then I've seen some that are also like circles. Like my 5-step methodology doesn't always have to be done in order, but you do have to do them
mhm.
all. Yeah.
Yep. I have a few. One's a circle. So one's the avalanche method, which I outlined, which is the lead generation, authority nurture, sales conversion, and
Yeah.
it's a cycle, and you have to be going through that all the time. Everyone goes through that all the time.
Yeah, that's so good. I can just like see how clearly your brain processes all of this. And I'm like, I'm very type B, like creative. Like, I want to talk about like ways of being and mindset and methodologies. And I'm like, oh, but I need her.
Yes. I think this is fun. I think that this is like where the balance comes in. So I get a lot of my clients are actually like more in the life coach space, or they're very spiritual, or they're very, you know, the designers. They want the balance that I bring
Yeah.
for them,
Yeah,
which is
of
I
like
think it's
knowing
really
what
interesting.
to do next. Like that something about
Yes.
having that clarity just like delivered to you. Like I just started working with a functional medicine doctor and she's like, if you eat these things and don't eat these things and take these supplements, you will feel better. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Like I don't have to sit here and wonder, should I eat the eggs or not eat the eggs? Can I eat the bacon or not eat the bacon? Like someone is telling me if I do these things, I will feel better, right? And you're
Yeah.
able to do that for people in business. Like if you just follow these steps, you will see results. Like that's so awesome. Yeah.
Thank you. But like that's kind of the thing, and so like this is. I'm sure you've seen this before, but I see this a lot. It always like annoys me. People online and go, so when people go, "Oh, this coach told me what to do and I didn't do it, and therefore I got results because I didn't do the thing." I'm just like, cool, glad it worked for you, but there's so much context we don't get from just that side of the conversation. It's just like this whole doing things your way just kind of pisses me off. Like, is that weird to say? Because I get the principle, but I think a lot of people misinterpret do things your way or build a business your way
Mm,
to I shouldn't do what someone else is telling me to do because then therefore it's not my way. But how I view it as, listen, I've been doing this for like 10 years, work with hundreds of clients. I know the patterns. Here is literally what is most likely to work in your situation. Test it out, learn why it works, get some results, then go change it. Then
yeah.
go figure like do things differently. That's totally cool. Like you should do that. Like make it your own. But for
Yeah.
people who haven't done it yet, it's so much easier to get the template from someone who's been there, done that. Test it out. Like just apply the template and like I customize it with you, like obviously. So it's not just like, oh, Elizabeth, copy paste this. No, like you come on a call, we workshop it together, we figure out how to apply that information to your particular situation. That's where
Yeah.
like the coaching is so critical with what I do, even in a leverage model. But it's just like save yourself a lot of time and energy, get the shortcut, implement it, then go off on your own, make it your own.
Yeah. Then
Does
be
that
the
potentially make any
scientist.
sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Be the scientist of the experiment. I have to tell people that all the time. Like, what worked for me may not work for you, but you have to be the scientist of the experiment and collect data and figure it out. Right. And
Yes. So
yeah, go ahead.
my my motto on this, I tell my clients, is test it, tweak it, try again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we need this information, we need the data, and the best way to get the data is like literally here I'm going to tell you, go do these things. Even if they feel uncomfortable, like if they feel so uncomfortable you're about to throw up, that's a different situation. I had my experience with cold calling, like that did not end well. um, but it's just easier if you take that shortcut from someone, test it out, and then go improve on it versus like trying to reinvent the wheel from scratch for the first time by yourself without that support. It just, you don't have to. Make life easier for yourself.
Yeah, so true. And it kind of, this is an interesting conversation. And I don't think my way is necessarily the right way of thinking. But when I think of like a strategist or consultant and a coach, when I think of a coach, a really great coach doesn't actually give you advice or tell you what to do. A really great coach is going to ask you questions that are going to help you self identify what your next step
Mhm.
is. The consultant, which what it sounds more like where I would probably categorize you, is like, I'm an expert at this. I've been doing it for, a decade plus. here's my like kind of copy and paste system again, but then now you've got to go take it to your own team and be the scientist of your experiment. And then a strategist, I feel like is like somewhere not quite a consultant. Like consultants are usually like extremely high paid and can go into like a corporate building and like, you know, infuse some like crazy thing. Where I feel like a strategist is like a little bit more like an expert at something, but maybe a little bit more of a pioneer, or I don't
Hmm.
know. And I've never really tried to sit down and define these three things, but I know sometimes it like drives me crazy when someone's like, I'm a life coach, but then they're like telling people like, do this, do that, do this. And I'm like, no, a coach is supposed to ask really good questions.
Yeah. No, I don't tend to call myself a coach too often. Like a lot, like
Yeah.
my clients call me their business coach.
Yes.
Cool, wrong with that. I consider myself a strategist because I will help you map things out. I will like you come to me say I am here. I want to be here. I will map that journey with you, and then I will
Yeah.
guide you through it. I think
Yeah.
something that I do that I think a lot of people in my space don't do is I get quite hands-on with people. So even in our
Mm.
coaching calls, I will like take control over someone's screen on Zoom and
Mm.
help them write out copy or help them sort out the landing page because ultimately I'm not I was gonna say like I'm not there to like pat you on the head and hold your like that's not true because I do that as well and that's like inspiring your clients, motivating your clients is so important to do.
Mhm.
I used to think it's all strategy and just like, oh, if they have a plan, they're golden. And that's not true. Like a lot of this actually has been how do you help your clients build up their confidence that their goals are possible and achievable, that the
Yeah.
work ahead is possible and doable, and that they have the capability to do it.
Yeah.
So like I don't know how we got to this point, I have to say, but I would consider myself more of a strategist. I definitely coach on my calls as well, and I'm definitely have some of that consulting of like, here's how things work, and here's the template, and here's the system. But then the strategy part brings it together and applies it to that client's unique situation.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love that. My mentor James Wedmore explains strategy as like, you know, you focus on three things. It's like you have your offer, your messaging, and your deadline, right? And there's like an invitation. But offer, messaging, there's a third one. But the strategy is the how. The strategy is like, what type of launch are you doing? Are you doing evergreen? Are you doing webinar? Like that is like the strategy, right?
Yeah.
The offer and the messaging is like literally like the most important part. Like if you don't have a good offer, like doesn't matter what strategy you have, because if your offer sucks, you can have the best strategy in the world and it's not going to work, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So do you help people kind of reverse engineer from like the top down of like, let's look at your offer and your messaging before we even do anything else?
Yes, because a lot of my clients come to me knowing that their offer isn't quite there. So they
Mm,
either are like you and they're like, oh, I have this thing that could be something, but it's not where it should be yet, like with your course. Or they come in and say, hey, I'm like burning out on one-to-one clients or on client delivery. I know there's a scalable offer somewhere. Help me figure it out.
yeah.
So that's something I focus on heavily. But yeah, I reverse engineer it as well, like really looking at ultimately it comes down to numbers, right? A lot of people come to me and say, hey, here's my goal is like 20K a month. I'm like, cool. Well, if you've got, your $40 template you're selling, that's a lot of sales that you need to make to hit 20K a month.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of like audience building. And a lot of people, like honestly, a lot of people don't even realize this. They don't do the math, or they did it like a long time ago and they haven't done it since. They don't realize if you want to, you've got a 2K offer, you want to get a 20K a month, and most people don't do that math because they just go,
Yeah.
oh, 10 clients, easy. And then I go, well, if you have like a 40, 50% close rate, which is kind of
Hi.
average for warm, yeah, that's
Mhm.
20, 30 sales calls. Now, what are the actions you need to take to get 20, 30 sales calls? So then you have the client delivery, you've got 20 to 30 sales calls, that's 20, 30 hours on a call, plus all the marketing to get those calls in the first place. And that's when people just look at me with like big wide eyes. I'm like, and this is why we want to find a way to take you from a 2K offer to like a 5K offer.
Yeah.
Like, or from a 2K offer to like a 7K, like because like the math doesn't work out.
Yeah.
People don't realize this because they don't sit down with the numbers often enough. I'm definitely guilty of this, by the way, like in the past as well, and like you kind of fall off the wagon sometimes. It starts with these basics. What's the financial goal? Divided by the price of the offer you want to sell, get that number, but then from there, look at what does the sales process look like, right? If you sell via webinar, cool. Do the math on the conversion of the webinar to figure out how many leads you have to be getting to your email list every month.
Mm-hmm.
Start there because once you know those numbers, you can start seeing, okay, cool. If I need to get 30 sales calls this month, is me posting twice a week on Instagram going to help me get 30 sales calls booked? The answer is no.
Yes. Nowhere near that. Yeah.
Nowhere near that. So I think a lot of people now are honestly maybe waking up a little bit to how much work is involved. And it's a
Yes.
bit weird because I talk a lot about like a freedom-based lifestyle and a business that allows you freedom. And I work a lot,
Yeah.
but that's by choice. Like I want to help more people. I want to grow my business. I want to create great content. Therefore, I choose to work more hours versus my business structure forcing me to work that many hours to maintain that business, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so good. I had um I had a 27 like a 3K offer a month, a 6-month program for 3K, and it was selling, but where I got exhausted and kind of stopped was again the lead generation. Like,
Yep.
and I'm even confident in sales calls. I'm confident I'll build a team to take my sales calls, but I
Hmm.
never felt like right hiring an appointment setter. I wasn't really I didn't want to like tackle Facebook ads. Like I kind of dabbled in a couple of different things, but like didn't want to hire like a 3K a month ads manager. So what would you say to someone that feels like they have the tools to create something but like really struggle with getting the leads? Because I do feel like my audience is more my 497 course type of people, right? They're not, or I might be a limited belief, but I don't necessarily believe that my audience, my newsletter list, my social following is filled with people who will pull the trigger on a $3,000 to $5,000 a month offer.
Why not? Why do you think so?
Again, it's probably limited to belief and an assumption,
Mm.
but my audience is a lot of creatives that are kind of between that 50K to 100K space, right? And if someone is barely making 100K, that's a lot to ask them to invest. Unless it's just 5K total, or is it 5K month over month over month for 6 months? Because I was working with 7 8 figure companies when I was doing that 3,000 per month for 6 months. Like that was a totally different clientele, but it was all like
Yeah.
word of mouth and referrals versus lead gen, email newsletter, all the things. So I was like, how do I scale this? Like the lead gen was exhausting.
So let me just make sure I understand. So are you saying that someone who is making 50 to 100K a year from their business would struggle to pay you $3,000 for your program?
Well, I was thinking $3,000 a month, or is it more a
Got
flat
it.
3K?
It would like that would be the cost of the program in general, so it wouldn't be 3K a month. Because I think like to have 3K, a program that delivers on you paying them 3K a month really should be delivering what 10, 20, 30K in ROI for you,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
five to 10x,
yeah,
um, which would basically be like quite a high level mastermind.
yeah,
Right. So like I've got high level mastermind, for example. The cost isn't it's not even that high. Um, depending on the payment plan. So it all comes down to ROI. So like, yeah, you're right. Like if someone's making 100K a year, like maybe they would pay 3K a month for something, but it would probably be quite a high level
yeah,
and maybe not what you're trying to slot in to that
yeah,
space. But if you think let's say 3 to 5K for your program, that's going to help them, create a certain outcome that they
yeah,
want and that is valuable to them, people would like obviously pay that.
yeah. And does it go indefinitely that they can meet with you, or is it usually like 6 weeks, 12 weeks? Like, is it like a container of time and then they're kind of done?
For me, it's 12 months.
Yeah. Okay.
Because like I know we know this, but results don't happen overnight.
Yes.
And I'm not selling a get rich quick magic bullet dream here. I'm really clear on that.
Yeah.
Like there is going to be hard work ahead, and it's going to be uncomfortable, and you're going to feel stretched, and
Yeah.
you're going to be scared, but it's going to be worth it because the
Yeah.
results are there, the rewards are there. So how I do mine is you come in, you join for 12 months, and then if you want to continue working with me after 12 months, then there's an alumni
Mm.
rolling option for them to continue on because again, it's like they literally get to talk to me one to one, like in
Yeah,
a
and
group
you're already
setting, but they
familiar
get to
with their
talk to me.
business, so you don't have to
Yeah,
do the onboarding, like, yeah, you save so much time on the back end when you already kinda know the ins and outs of somebody's business. Okay. Yeah, that's so good,
I
and I
think long.
always like to tell people, like, I prefer to work with someone for 6 months because I think it takes that long to
Mhm,
see results. 12 months would be even better,
mhm,
but by 3 months, you know if somebody's a good fit or not, right?
mhm.
So I'm always like, "We'll know by the 3rd month whether this is a good fit or not," right? And fine, back out, cancel, I don't care. But 6 months is what it really takes to see results. Because when it comes to, like, something like, building community, and at the time I was doing very, very specific Facebook group strategy, like, that does
Mhm.
not happen anywhere near overnight. Like, it takes a while. So, yeah, that's so good.
I
Yeah.
think especially when like that's the thing. Like what I aim for is I want people to get like an ROI as quickly as possible. So that's why
Yeah.
we have that battle plan session in the beginning. Like I want you to start making money and start seeing like quick wins like ASAP.
Yeah.
But for people to get actually sustainable results, so from going from like 2K a month to like 5K a month, or from like 3K a month to 10K a month, that sustainability is going to take a while because it
Yeah.
takes a while to generate those leads, to warm them up, to educate them, to build those relationships, to build your authority, and then to sell to them. Like there is
Mhm.
a process involved in there, and that is assuming someone's going to actually execute as fast as they can and not get stuck in the mindset hurdles that do come up with this kind of work.
Yeah. Yeah. So good. Okay. That kind of flips the way I was thinking about it. So if it's a flat rate offer, you just have to onboard 2 or 3 new people a month, depending on what your revenue goals are. So as long as
Yes,
you can keep a consistent onboarding of even 2, 5, whatever your number is, a month, that's all you have to focus on is just getting this many new people each month. And then your revenue should, in theory, go up and up and up, depending on payment plans, all the things. Yeah.
exactly. And here's the difference between like this model and having it in a one-to-one, one-to-many model versus a one-to-one model. So a
Yeah.
lot of people say like, oh, I need like two one-to-one clients a month and I'm all set. I'm like, yeah, cool, but by month 4, you will probably be juggling 8 one-to-one clients because
Yeah.
no one finishes their stuff on time, right? Like everyone extends,
Yeah.
um, and all the marketing and all the other things.
Mhm.
Whereas with this structure, if you do the structure well, me taking on a new client into my program does not take me a huge amount of hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
It's
really the
totally
onboarding that
scalable.
like it's scalable. That's the thing. And I think a lot of people have done this very poorly in the past. And I think it really comes down to you actually having to care about your clients and you
Yeah.
actually wanting your clients to get a good result.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
difference.
No, I love it. I love it. I love working with people in that way of, like, I love working with people one to one or group Zoom. Just put me like on Zoom live with somebody. That's how I really like to help people. But I also, like you, I'm like, man, I want to help a lot of people. So that
Yep.
scalability is really important. And like onboarding, like I have a lot of training and building a team. So I'm like, if I can generate the revenue, I can build teams for days so that literally all I'm doing is showing up on those Monday calls or whatever it might be. Because the sales calls can be outsourced, the onboarding can be outsourced, like so much of it. Even eventually, since you have such a repeatable system and success path, you could design yourself out of a lot of this and have coaches.
I could. I don't know if I want to.
Yeah. And that's okay. That's okay too.
Not
Yeah.
at this point, anyway. It's something that I'm very resistant to personally because I feel like with strategy, with it's basically scalable one-to-one coaching consulting for me. Like
Yeah.
I know everyone in the program. I know them well. I know their quirks, their pitfalls, what they're scared of. I don't know. It's I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like the idea of taking myself out of the delivery of the program.
Yeah.
And that's something that's just like at this point at least it's very, very important to me
Yeah.
that they have access to me and they get to ask me questions and I give them feedback
Hmm.
on their lead magnet or their webinar or their marketing or authority or whatever they're
Yeah.
working on.
Yeah. I
But
know
yes,
that's
you
that's
could you could get yourself out of it.
Yeah, yeah. And my goal like long term is to build a business that I can either sell or pass down to my family. Like if I'm the
Mhm.
only one that can run it or do the most important tasks, then my business is actually not really worth anything. So it's like I
Yeah.
know like long term that's what I want to build. I don't know what that looks like or anything like that, but um I do believe that we can build teams that can be as good, if not better than us at certain roles, right? Like you can have
Yep.
someone that's really good at onboarding and like, managing the heck out of those students and where they are in their success path and, you know, getting myself out of as much as possible, but only staying in the zone of genius, highest paying tasks, like my hourly rate. And if sales calls are beneath my hourly rate, like we can have someone else do it. I'm like, I'm already in my 10-year plan. Thanks for this.
No, I
I'm
love
like,
that.
and you've
That's the
changed
thing.
my
Like,
life,
it's
and I've already built this out in my head. We'll see what happens.
just by the way, I have one part-time team member, and that's it.
Yeah. See, that's crazy to me.
Like, when I was doing one-to-one coaching and when I was doing launches, I had 7 contractors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I got rid of everyone and basically did solo. I had an assistant at that time, and she kind of had a bit of a burnout like a few weeks later
Yeah.
after all that happened, as well. So she quit to focus on her family, and I was like, oh my god, I'm by myself now. What? And I was like, oh, it's actually okay. um, and yeah, so my sister actually works for me, which is really cool. And she's like traveling. She's somewhere in like Bolivia right now, I think.
Oh my God. So
um,
cool.
but we focused on systems. We focus on simplicity. Like our onboarding is mostly automated, apart from like 2 human touch points that are
Mm,
intentionally manual
yeah.
for that. Because we want that touch point to be there.
Yeah.
Um, and otherwise, the business model is really simple.
Yeah. That's so good.
So it doesn't have to be complicated.
It's so good. Oh my gosh. Well, I have a little bit of shiny object syndrome, so you may be getting a call with me because I'm like, I definitely I'm just trying to figure out what's next. Like I know that I'm really
Yeah.
happy with my work-life balance. I know that I love everything that I'm doing, but I do need to figure out how to continue to grow my revenue without doing more work. And that's like a pretty legit pain point that you touch on when you help people with that.
Yeah, that's like yes, you should. We should have a conversation about this.
Yeah.
Because like when you're in that space, I think it's really difficult because especially when you've been around with like in the online space, you know all the options, but
Yes.
then which is right for you and which do you prioritize and how do you make all those decisions
Yeah.
when you've not done it before? And that's where we're working with someone like me makes life a hell of a lot easier and faster because you get the shortcuts and you get like the pitfalls so you don't fall
Yeah.
into them.
Yeah. So good. So good. I love it. I feel like we were definitely meant to cross paths, and I love that Ilya connected us. What is like next for you? Do you have any big dreamy projects that you're working on or anything that we can look out for in the future?
I'm constantly reiterating my own programs. I'm always
Yeah.
looking at like how can I, improve the curriculum? How can I improve the client experience? How can I add more accountability? How can I? It's like we're now testing out to start doing like monthly quests,
Mm,
um, with like the collaboration quest on how do you like get on more podcasts and like collaborate with more people so you grow your
mm,
audience in a way that's faster.
yeah.
Um, things like that. We just did a training on ChatGPT
Mm,
so I use ChatGPT to help me script 180 short form videos that I then filmed in one day. So that could be a quite fun thing to you know work on with my clients and just add like how that's the thing. So it's like a side note. Like I have ADHD, and I always was stuck in like the shiny object syndrome because like I ran retreats and I ran like workshops and in person events and I had a podcast and I all these things. And when I actually pulled all my energy into like one main program, the shiny object stuff really decreased because I had one core focus. And that brings a lot of freedom with it, actually.
Yeah, I was actually just telling my husband last night, like, I just need to focus on one thing. And I know, like, I've had that voice in the back of my head for so long of like, I just need to focus on one offer and one thing that I really love to deliver because I am you when you mentioned like the beta launch always freaking rocks it, right? Launch number 2
Yeah,
does pretty well. Launch number 3,
yeah,
okay, I've kind of lost interest. My people will keep buying whatever I put out there, so I'm just going to create something new. Like that is me. Like
yeah.
literally I've had women buy every program that I have put on the market. So I just keep creating
Love
new
that.
stuff for them, but that makes me exhausted.
Yeah.
Also like I love creating, but I will never scale if I don't push past that hump. And I think all the time, had
Oh,
I just stuck with my very first program 6 years ago that did really well for 3 launches, I'd probably be making like $500,000. But no, I had to go switch and do all these different things.
well, like, listen, it's like 6 years ago. It's like 6 years ago, I was at a retreat with Carrie Green from Female Entrepreneur Association.
Mm.
I asked for advice. She said, get yourself on YouTube.
Mm.
If only I had listened.
That's so true because YouTube is a long game. It's a long game.
Yeah, like imagine if I listened to Carrie Green 6 years ago and stuck with YouTube, you know?
Yeah.
So don't beat yourself up. This is all like a learning experience.
Yeah.
But I think it's something that really looking at, like, if you know you have these like really warm people who just love what you do, they just want to be in your space and just continue learning from you. Well, what if you had something that could deliver that consistently without you needing to recreate the wheel and relaunch the damn thing every single time?
Yeah. Yeah.
What if there's like one journey to get towards you, towards that program, and that was it?
Yeah, I love it. Well, you have my wheels turning, and now I'm like, I just want to book another call so we can brainstorm what kind of program I should come up with. Because I'm like, the groundwork is there. Like, I have good offers,
Yeah.
I have good messaging, I have an ideal client. Um, I just need to figure out what I want to build.
Oh,
Or do I want to take the course and literally just continue with that? Um, because it's good and I know it works, but it's like kind of just a course.
that's the thing. Like it comes down to the money math we talked about.
Yeah.
So I would definitely be looking at like what can you do that overlaps with what your clients want
Mm,
that will still overlap again with your business goals.
yeah.
Because if like we look at the course and we look at your, let's say your revenue goals, you mentioned 500,000 a year, that's 40K a month.
Yeah.
A 497 course is probably not the easiest way to get there.
Oh no. No, no.
So then you can start reverse engineering things like that. Like, how do you, great, if the 497 course isn't going to get me there, what's the price point that can get me there? I'm
Yeah.
not saying just pick a number and like stick content to it and then sell that. That's not how it works. But at least it's going to give you a benchmark of,
Hmm.
oh, to actually get to this goal while still like maintaining my work life balance and you're not doing like 60 sales calls a month or whatever, I need something that's going to be at a 7K price point.
Yeah.
Okay. What could that look like?
Yeah. And how
Like
could it
that's
I
a,
love the math you did of like 4 or 5xing. So if someone's investing 5K in me, I want to make sure that I can get them a 25K ROI.
yeah,
Yeah. I love
that
that.
would be the goal.
Yeah. So
That's the
good.
thing. Like not every offer does that. Because some you might be selling something that doesn't give a financial ROI, like which is fine as well. And then you're not looking at a 25K ROI for that person. But like for like I don't know about you, but like I've spent probably 20K at least on my health, surgeries, hospitals, functional medicine, like just
All the things. Yeah.
all the things. And if I could pay 5K and that would have been solved for me,
Mhm.
I'll still do that now, right? Because it's not even a financial ROI. It's that the what the value is to that person of having that problem solved or
Yeah.
getting to that goal.
Yeah.
So yeah, one way to figure that out is figure out what the math needs to look like.
Mhm.
So you reverse engineer it that way, or you kind of go with what do my clients want. So like the reason I came up with like my program was I had been selling courses, I've been selling retreats, been selling masterminds. So the courses were like had the structured information, like here's what to do, go do it. The masterminds had like the live coaching, hot seats, rework on whatever you need to. And I realized that the course clients were missing the hot seat coaching,
Yeah.
and the mastermind clients were missing the structure. And that realization is what made me put together my first group coach, like first proper
Yeah.
evergreen group coaching program. Because I was like, I want them to have the information and the structure of here's what to do, but now I want them to have the coaching element so I can help them figure out like how to make these decisions. It's
Yeah.
like what you're saying to me now on the call. Like it's not like I can't say, Elizabeth, just go Google that,
Yeah.
because you can't. Because it depends on you.
Yeah. And having that container, there's so much to be said for having a time commitment to move the needle on certain projects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I love thinking about it over the scale of like a year, because I'm like, I could help anybody make 25K in a year. Like, I don't even have to focus on what I do. I could literally just help someone make that much money in a year.
Yeah.
Right? So when you put it into that perspective of like, yes, 5K is a big investment, but if we can make 25K on top of whatever you're already doing by the end of the year, like that's an easy delivery for me. It's just packaging it all up. Yeah. So cool.
Exactly.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Okay, I will put everything in the show notes, but tell people who are listening how they can find you.
Yes, I am over on all the social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, at Maggie Giele. Come say hi and come get my case study if you want. I have a case study I can share with you on how you can actually scale to hitting 50 to 100K a month as a coach, consultant, or service provider, and then where I walk you through like literally here's the changes I had to make in my business and how you can implement that in yours as well. So that's go.maggiegiele.com/movie.
Oh my gosh, so good. I love it. And I feel like this was a really cool conversation because I pretty much spoke to you the same I would if we were just having a coffee chat and not recording it. And that's always
No, I
really
love that.
fun when people will engage in that way. And because I've had so many networking calls or coffee chats with people and being like, man, this would have been a good podcast episode. Right.
Mhm.
But then you're not recording. And then I schedule a podcast and then somebody's like kind of nervous or like think you're going to curate the experience. But thank you for being so open and just like serving and serving and serving and allowing me to have all these light bulb moments. That was really, really helpful, Maggie. So thank you so much. I'm going to link everything up in the show notes. And you guys, if you listen to this, make sure that you go say hi and let her know that you found her on the Messy Success podcast.
Yeah, I
Thank
mean, come
you.
on, like I live for this stuff. This is what I nerd out on all the time. So this was so much fun. And yeah, if anyone has any questions, like, DM me, happy to brainstorm with you and help you get this figured out.
Yeah,
Let's get rocking.
I love it. You can tell you love it by how you speak about it. It's so cool. Thanks. All right. If you listen to this and you don't feel inspired to work on a group coaching program, I don't know what to say because even just re listening and putting this episode together, I'm like on fire to go work on some things for the Community Growth Lab. Maggie is such a gem, and I'm so glad that I met her. So don't forget, this is episode 119 of the Messy Success Podcast. So you can go find the show notes at elizabethhenson.co/e 119 to connect with Maggie and get all the links that you need from this episode. elizabethhenson.co/E119. And again, if this episode was helpful or it inspired you, we would absolutely love it if you would leave us a review on iTunes or share this episode with a friend or tag us on Instagram. It really keeps us going and keeps us motivated to know that we are helping at least one person out there. So thank you so much, and we will see you next week.